portion of your show at the round table. My name is Shegun Odwayo. You know how we do it on this show. Together with some of the best analysts in the land, we analyze topical issues that are eating up the polity. Of course, issues that affect Nigerians and are issues that Nigerians are interested in on the political scene. Where do we start from this day? Before we do that, I'll quickly introduce my guests. To my right, Mohammed Lawal, looking all lovely and fine, very fine and so man.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
And to my left, the man on glasses. They call him the prof. I call him the political wizard. Femi Morgan is his name.
Thank you so much.
One of the very best, especially in his segments and in the field where he's very, very good at. Very quickly,
Thank you.
I will begin with the Wike, ex-governor and now current minister Wike, of course, Nyesom Wike, and the Port Harcourt River State governor, I beg your pardon, of course, River Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is the capital of River State. Mr. Singh Fubara, remember just a few months ago, they were always together, going for meetings, going for campaigns. Wike was telling the people of River State to vote for Fubara for continuity, and just 7 months after, there's a serious chaos in that state. Now, it is normal for us to have chaos between Godfather and Godsons, but this has gotten to a level where yesterday morning, people in River State and in Nigeria altogether woke up to the news of the destruction, dismantling of the assembly complex. Remember that just a few days ago, certain persons that belong to the House of Assembly, about 27 of them in total, that decamped from the ruling People's Democratic Party to the opposition All Progressives Congress, the APC, of a 32 group people, 32 House of Assembly members in all. 27 of that number moved over to the APC. Obviously, that spelled doom for the governor, and the actions that followed after that, very controversial. A new speaker, 5 assembly member speaker, 4 or 5, I think 5, they elected a speaker, and not only did they elect a speaker, quickly the governor defended his budget for 2024 before 4 or 5 persons, and over half, what am I saying, about 70% of the total sum of representatives of the people were not available to do that. Together with my guys, we're analyzing that topic very quickly. Where do I start from? For my left, Femi Morgan. Let's talk about Rivers. What is happening in Rivers State? Have we seen a situation before whereby, this is not the first time we are seeing House of Assembly members have issues with governors. It's normal. This is not the first time we are having godfathers and godsons fighting.
Yes.
We have millions and millions of examples.
We've had examples.
But I think this is the first time we are having the assembly complex go down with air conditioners, with fans, files, everything destroyed. What manner of politics is this?
Rivers is going to implode if nothing is done to find a meeting place between Wike's aspirations and Fubara'S newfound authority. And the governor of a state is a very powerful personality, and is embodied by constitution to navigate the state either towards success or towards dismal indices. We agree that Rivers is a site of petrol exploration, and is also a site where Nigeria receives a huge chunk of its revenues.
Yeah.
So if Rivers implodes, given the new current economic conditions that Nigeria is going through, we are going to find ourselves on a road to economic doom. Economic sensibility tells us that, given the fact that multinationals are leaving Nigeria, are we not going to experience a new wave of departures in the multinational oil industry if River gets to the point where it implodes? So the governor is moving towards tyranny.
The governor?
Yes. And the Godfather is also moving towards tyranny. I'll tell you how.
Okay.
5 persons cannot approve a budget.
At all.
They do not represent the total aspirations of the local government of the senator of the districts and of the villages of Rivers State, they do not convey. That's
their
one.
wishes are not the wishes of the entire people.
Yes, they do not convey the wishes of the entire people of Rivers State. So that itself is tyranny. Second level tyranny is the demolition of that assembly.
Complex.
Demolition of that assembly complex creates a problem, because there are precedents that say that any laws or any laws
Done in
that complex is not law.
We have examples.
So if you now demolish the complex because you feel that you don't have a grasp on the security or on the space, you feel that those 27 people have more access than yourself, you now demolish it. It's a problem. Although he has explained that certain bomb blasts and all of that, a decent renovation of a part of the complex would have saved the day. But here we have a governor who has gone ahead to show that he's capable of shutting down Rivers and is capable of putting his godfather in a hole. No.
All right, very quickly now to Mohammed Lawal, who I'm sure is itching to be a part of this discussion. Mohammed Lawal, Rivers. We are not new to issues in Rivers. We are not new to it from time immemorial. I mean, since
from Amechi
in 1999.
From Amechi, even before Amechi, all the lead days.
You know, lots of this and that. But right now, the assembly is down. I mean, the complex assembly. About 7 or 8 excavators were counted yesterday in the viral video by some ladies. I mean, it was brought down. And they said, of course, there was some issues the last time the governor was attacked, that some people put some explosives and all that. So everything had to go down. Reporters there said even air conditions in the complex, ACs, files. I mean, it's not like they were trying to rescue anything. Everything was going down. What's going on now? What's happening?
Yeah, I think first we have to ask ourselves a question, and the question is, do these politicians have the interest of the people? Do they? You understand? Do they? I'm not sure if they do, there will be ongoing crises when there is an economic downturn. You understand? I think the governor should focus mainly on what is being elected to do in the office. You understand? But however, let us put that aside. On the feud between them, should there be someone who will be dictating for a sitting governor? I think these are the critical questions we have to raise. You understand? And when Mr. Femi said the governor does not have the right to present, that is not even legal, to present budgets, in the front of 5. You understand? I think these people, they resigned.
No, they didn't resign.
They did. If
they
you read,
didn't.
They did.
No, they didn't resign.
They just defected.
Yeah, they defected.
Defecting doesn't mean that they won't come back to the.
They are supposed to come back. Although the group of 5 said they had declared their seats vacant.
Vacant.
And that has led to another controversial.
Sometimes these politicians behave like student union boys.
So
they behave like student union boys.
The question is, can they? I mean, is it lawful for the new speaker in quotes now to declare vacant the seats of 27 or 26?
As of this moment, the Attorney General of the state has resigned.
Yes.
So you see that I think I don't know if there is anything like constitution. If constitution works in Nigeria, I'm not sure if it works in Nigeria. In the sense that there are some ways we go around things, and then the things really tend to work for the politicians. You understand? All of these things, if you are in a very serious country, even the governor and a host of others, all the political office holders, who should have been maybe detained or to be subjected to face the wrath of the law. You understand? Because at this moment, you should be doing something important for the citizens. You understand? What are you doing for them? Okay, now that we have a crisis in the state,
is there governance?
Is there governance? Is the economic activities in the state going on? Where other governors are there, signing trade agreement between people, and at the same time, like you said, multinationals are leaving this country. As of today, I think Jumia The
Jumia
Jumia food has gone in states in some countries in Nigeria, and again in Nigeria. Why Nigeria again? We have been recording this thing consistently. You understand? I think there is need, for the court of law. Some people have said that there should be special courts to try matters as matters as trivial as this, like having godfatherism, feud, because normally in the essence of it, why should Wike be giving something, forcing something. I'm not saying that
Because
allegedly
report
that is
almost all the positions right now those close to the governor, is commissioners, is different appointments.
Look at it. There are some internecine crises in some states. You understand? Now, as of yesterday, you see that when you go through Twitter, you see that now we have the Ikore people as well as the other tribe, you understand, ethnic group, you understand. They are bridging another crisis, internecine crisis between these people. You understand? Do we have to subject ourselves because of our own selfish interests into spreading, some kind of crisis that will lead to insurgents, standing up against themselves, fighting that, I think
very quickly, let me ask Femi Mona.
Yeah.
What is the solution? Because right now it's more like yam, pepper, scatter. The popular saying that, WB eats, turning and turning of the wild ninja, the falcon cannot hear the falconer.
Yeah.
Right now, it looks like we are in that situation.
The problem in Nigeria is that we are unable to separate constitutionality from politics. What does the Constitution say about the governance of Rivers State? The governor is the executive. The assembly is supposed to check the governor. There's supposed to be separation of power. There are no roles for Godfather within constitutionality.
But we do know that these things happen.
Wait, there are no roles of Godfatherism within our constitution. So, and then when I say that the governor is moving towards tyranny, it's clear that certain actions taken by the governor does not conform.
But Mr. Femi, I'm not trying to cut you short. I'm
now,
sorry. I think for us to be on a safe side,
let us go to Mr. Wike.
Okay.
Mr. Wike is. I remember I was on this show when I said that Mr. Wike is the godfather of Rivers, and he has two legs. He has one leg in PDP and another leg in APC. I remember saying it. But at this time, Fubara'S has subverted Wike, and Wike is saying my structures, my finances that I put into the game, because for them
anyway, it is only structure that he made mention of.
For them it is a game. No, it's finances, because there was an interview where he said there was hardly any form bought by assembly members, hardly any form bought by local government chairman, that he did not intervene one way or the other. So he's saying my finances, my structures are being subverted by this man.
Structures breathe.
Yes, that this man that we have prodded to become governor of Rivers. And the governor of Rivers is saying, I am the governor of Rivers. You are in Abuja. Stay in Abuja. Do Abuja. Abuja is a state on its own. Abuja is the second or third largest state that contributes the highest FDI to Nigeria. Abuja needs major intervention. Stay in Abuja. Do those major interventions in Abuja. Leave us in Rivers to run the show. But Mr. Wike wants to become the overlord of Rivers.
Governor General?
He wants to be the overlord of Rivers. And since there are already templates in which we have overlords across the country, can you blame a man who...
What are they saying?
Like I said, what I'm looking for right now is the solution. The average man on the streets in Rivers State, the man in Ikwere, the man in Port Harcourt, the man in Romokoro, the man that is just looking for how to feed his own wife and 2 children or 3 children, the man staying in one room by one flat somewhere close to the stadium. These are the people that I'm most concerned about. right now, like you said earlier, there's little or no governance going on in Rivers State right now.
Yeah.
Is it that are you for me or against me? Are you for Wike or against Wike? Are you for Fubara or against Fubara? Now, regardless of you being for Fubara or for anybody, what will be done to better the lives of the average people in Rivers State?
See, this is very direct. And the direction they have to go is that there is need for the federal government, to create a panel that will investigate the matter. Immediately after investigation, the next thing to do is they go to court of law. When we start, taking this...
Are you asking that a state of emergency be declared?
I won't really say a state of emergency. While the investigation is ongoing, there is need, for them to also call the attention of those who are involved, you understand, to face the law so as to ensure that, there is a declaration of facts and everything is being settled, not even amicably now. Even if it warrants, taking one of the person who is found, being found wanting or find wanting should be, taken to court, or to face the wrath of the law. They don't care about that. So that the people in Rivers State can enjoy the dividend of governance.
For me,
No.
For me, it's a political solution.
No. Okay. What's
it's a political solution.
The president met with them. I remember governors of issues, the PDP praising the president for being the father of the nation and not saying it's not my party, doesn't concern me. But the president had met with them earlier. And what was out there, in fact, the governor he spoke to the media and said it was an issue between himself and, but what is still...
The issues that are troubling Rivers right now did not emanate from legalese. It emanated from backroom conversations.
Arrangements.
When you become governor, you must do this, you must do that. We don't have the details. And then he gets there and he says, given the realities on ground, I can't do this, I can't do that. Then it becomes a problem. So the question is, how can we find Wike to say, I relinquish this for peace to reign? I've asked you for...
Okay, you think it's the minister that should...
I've asked you for 3 things, 5 things, and you've said you can only deliver 3. Okay, deliver 3, take 2. Mr. Governor, what are your own interests? I give you 2, keep 3. Everybody,
go happy.
Go happy.
All right. Are you agreeing with
that? Is with this, we are still encouraging such thing, to keep.
Because politics.
Because when we can't be, we can't be overly submitting into Nigerian political ideology. You understand? Although I know politics, has its own way of.
I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm a Nigerian.
But must we?
And I have a sense of.
Must we keep embracing something we have been embracing since 1960 when we were we were given independence? We keep implementing in such degrading circumstances whereby someone will just wake up today and say that.
So what do you think is the solution?
The solution is let the court show its capacity of maintaining law and order in the country.
Who will drag the case to court?
Of course, now that he said
the states can actually go.
The state can do that. You understand? Because we are talking about.
The state to take who to court?
But for me,
who will the state take to court?
Of course, they will call the people who are involved in the matter. They will call them, all of them. You will come here to attest.
See,
of course,
for me,
we know the way they bring.
Me,
for instance, now, excuse me, please. For instance, now when we have people, for instance, there is a land issue amongst people. We know how the court people will bring one family, 2 family, bring all of these people together, take the court and
okay, so you are saying the governor now should take the minister to court?
Not the governor. Now that the federal government, the president himself has intervened, you understand? So through the intervention, you should also, now that you can see that the thing is still, there's still fuel.
It's getting worse.
So it is better the governor, the president, or some people who are in the capacity to sue them both, because they say the governor of a state is directly under the federal government. So by the virtue of by the power, by the power vested in the president, he has the right to call them to the court.
For me to not work. For me to not work.
Quick question.
To not work.
The president had met with them.
Yeah.
The president had met with another state. I know he's the father of the nation, and that is his job. But if they don't allow the president to focus on real matters, and we use out of 4-year tenure, we use 3 years to settling fight. How will the country progress? I mean, are these men not meant to be able to settle their state matters internally?
I think for Rivers, it would have even been worse if the president did not step in.
I agree. Probably would have pulled out this complex a long time ago.
Apart from pulling down the complex, we know that Rivers is a boiling part of this country. The crude oil in Rivers seems to have its own flammability, even with the peoples of Rivers. So I think that the intervention of the president in Rivers at least reduced some level of tensions. I'll give you an imaginary picture of militants clashing in Rivers.
Starting chaos.
Serious killings. That has not happened yet. What has happened is that National Assembly men are taking themselves to court. One has gone to court saying that he has legal rights to be speaker and has legal rights to pass laws in one small hotel room. You know, that is ongoing. But what I'm still saying is that political solution, sometimes we have to be very realistic about what is playing out in our country. We also have to be very realistic about the kinds of leaders that we have. You know, if we were in America, we know that the state police, who has no regard for whether you are governor or not, would have come, intervened, blocked the governor, arrested his aides, surrounded the complex, and would not give them access to bring down resources
of the people.
United States.
If it was the US, if it was the US, you know, but we are in Nigeria.
US has many states.
You know,
yes. For once, where Biden has I've told.
Remember when I was saying, I said the state police, because in the US, every state has its police, but the police of the state is not in the pockets of the governor.
In fact, the county
you know,
policemen
so,
are also there doing their business.
You understand what I'm saying?
Because of our time, we have to move to the next topic. I know the guys are so hot, they could go on and on, but we have to move to the next topic because this also concerns the people. Remember that just a few days ago, the national grid collapsed again. I'm saying again because just before we came on, we were discussing about this particular issue, and in 2022 alone, the national grid collapsed about 8 times. I think 8 times. Yes, 8 times in 2022 alone. And then Femi Morgan was saying that was even too small. That this year, in the last year of Buhari, he said it collapsed about...
In the 8 years of Buhari.
In the 8 years of Buhari's tenure, it collapsed about 155 times.
No, 99 times.
99 times.
99 times.
99 times in 8 years.
And in a decade, 138.
Now, it tells you so much about the problem. So for those who do not understand, electricity, and you know, I know we do not even have 24 hours light in many states, in fact in virtually almost every state, but the national grid keeps failing. This is not the first time. It happened back to back, despite the fact that the TCN had said they had budgeted millions and that they were fixing the matter and that the issue was, almost as good as being very sure. But unfortunately, this keeps happening. It has happened during the Obasanjo tenure. It happened under Aiyedatiwa tenure. It happened under Jonathan tenure. It happened under Buhari tenure. Tinubu has come in now, and we are getting another collapse. I think we have had about 2 or 3 since the new president came on board. In fact, he's no longer a new president. Since the president came on board, because he's no longer, he's used to it already. I think I should start from Mohammed this time. What is going on exactly? What?
Yeah, I think to me, that at this point again, in Nigeria, we still have to be discussing about power failure, power outage, gridlock collapse, and a host of other electricity issues in Nigeria. You understand? I think the former Minister of Power and Steel, Agunoye, was declared wanted yesterday by the EFCC.
Yesterday before yesterday?
Yeah, I think thereabouts. You understand? And I think siphoning or embezzling $6 million. You understand? Which is really, a crazy thing to hear in the state where we have about 200 million people. You understand? So I think there's really nothing for us to say on this particular issue. What is really wrong? You understand? Is it that we are not getting our budget right? what are the issues why we cannot have standard power supply in the country. You understand? I'm sorry, I don't like to always compare Nigeria to other countries, but I think at this point I will have to do so. You understand? If countries who are larger than us, like let me say Egypt, so to say, you understand? Let us say USA, Canada, and a host of others. If they can have power supply, if they can generate it, uninterruptedly, why can't we do the same thing? We have this money for crying out loud. You understand? Look at the money they keep. Is it from the Abacha loot? You understand? Is it when they just say, okay, let us just say that this loot we have collected from, we have recovered from Abacha. Okay, let us just put it into the power sector by getting the power sector right in the country without having to come every year or every month to announce that, sorry, there is you understand? You get it? We have this. It is not gainsaying that we don't have the the funds to run this thing. Is it that are we to say that these people are doing it deliberately? I mean, the people in power, you understand, are they doing it deliberately? Look at these are the same people that have budgeted a lot of money for their luxurious or ostentatious life, you understand, by buying buying all of those things. Look at this again. We just ended up talking about Fubara. You know that the country is in economy downturn. You understand, economic downturn. The same governor went to demolish a complex.
He said it is because of explosives.
He said that he also said that he met experts, that the experts advised him. You understand? I think that is just a political chimera. You understand? Illusory. You understand? Trying to tell us that, trying to authenticate what you have said by, so that you will have an excuse to say. You understand? That the money you are going to spend in rebuilding that place will be enough to contribute to the to the stability of power in the state. You understand? Look at it again. They said that they want to renovate, the place. They want to build something for the vice president, the house of the vice president. Whereas we have the Aguda house of the vice president in Abuja State. You understand? All of these funds, if they bring them together, it will be enough to start. Even if you are doing state by state, it is. Look at Lagos State as well. They said we were supposed to write. We wanted to write 20 million for Pekun, but we mistakenly, all of these funds, that are, let me say, that are oblique. That are being covered, if they are being used, to standardize the power in the state, it will be done.
But millions have been budgeted. Yeah. Millions have been spent over the years.
Yeah.
I don't think the problem with power in Nigeria is that monies have not been, allocated for such. No. Yeah. These monies regularly go for these things. We don't
Nigeria power sector.
We don't get ahead.
I think I think the EFCC declaring the former Minister of Power and Steel wanted has answered our question by saying that I think maybe the allegation that people have been saying that maybe they siphoned the money. You understand? Maybe the money, when they budget about 2 billion naira, maybe they use maybe 200 million naira to just give us a kind of flashy light, and when it goes off, the next thing they do is they are done with it. You understand? I think
very quickly, Femi Morgan. It is not new. They say children in Nigeria are used to, in quotes, the slang up NEPA is popular. How up NEPA? I mean, people outside may not understand what up NEPA means, but in-house, I mean, intra-Nigeria, we know what, especially in this part of Nigeria, up NEPA.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's not stopping anytime soon because 24-hour light is still a mystery. Where you stay right now, I know you don't have 24 hours. I don't even think you have 18 hours light per day. And the TCN, we thought, okay, beautiful. They collected monies and we thought, okay, the solution is in sight. But not long after that period, there was a collapse and another collapse. Of course, we know what is going on. The new Minister of Power said Nigeria is going to, the federal government is
Mr. Adebayo Adelabu.
Yes, Adelabu of Oyo State. The new policies and many persons have attacked him. And I've said, why are you handing it over to the states? The states have not even properly taken care of the things you want them to take care of. You are giving them more responsibilities. Can the federal government? And then we are back on the drawing board.
The power issue is supposed to, in fact, we could use the rest of we could just have focused on the power issue. Because the power issue is broad.
Very broad.
It's very broad. Between Jonathan and Buhari, we spent about 2.7 trillion to get power. Obasanjo spent about 11 billion on this power issue. So much that the Senate had to summon him, and he wrote a very long letter explaining to the Senate what happened from Bolaige to Aganga to this to that. Still no power.
No power. No power.
Buhari, the President Muhammadu Buhari, signed a deal. The former president signed a deal with Siemens. I was supposed to take power.
That was controversial.
To 25,000 megawatts. That never happened.
Which ended with so much controversy.
That never happened.
The president has been negotiated. The current president has been negotiated
it.
Deal
Good.
Now.
While South Africa and Egypt are having generated between 53,000 to 59,000 megawatts, Nigeria is still between.
We are crawling.
We are still between 4,000 megawatts, 4-5, giant of Africa.
And we are looking to 25 when people are already at 50.
We are looking to 25,000 when South Africa and Egypt are playing the 50s.
Even Ghana here.
It's a problem. The problem is so broad. But where is the problem? Problem number one: national grid. Our national grid needs critical re-evaluation. Our national grid is still under the federal government. And you know how we run things when the federal government is in charge.
Nobody cares.
We need to unbundle the national grid. If it's that we'll give the national grid to Siemens and focus on regulation and taxation. And laws to protect the sovereignty of the country. Let's hand it over to strong people who know what they are doing.
People in the private sector.
With grid. Not just private sector. We should bring foreign hands.
But if the private sector is in charge of it.
That is private sector. German, Dutch, bring them in and then handle the national grid. Second problem, distribution and transmission. Let's face it.
Which is actually
the national grid generates a certain amount. The guys who are supposed to distribute and transmit are unable to harness. And then when they want to give it to, when the transmission harnesses just a few, just a little, and wants to hand it over to distribution says they don't have money to buy from transmission. And then so much that despite the fact that Buhari had privatized distribution and transmission, federal government has bought 40% stakes from the privatized.
So who is buying? Who was selling?
Who is selling? Who was buying? Who was
selling it?
You know, it's a big problem. So what should government do? Bring in new private hands, persuade those ones to sell to those new private hands so that money will flow through the conduits, and then when money flows through the conduits, we can standardize this thing. Unfortunately for me, our dear minister, we want to see him work better. We want to see him get to the job. We don't want stories. Aiyedatiwa moved from Accord to APC. It's not our business.
I think he has.
Our business is Mr. Minister, sir. Our business is come and show us your roadmap. This is what we are doing to power in the next 3 months. This is what we are doing to power in the next one month. The multilateral loan that we are getting that has been fixed into the budget. This is what we are doing with it. We want to see results.
And he's such a bright
mind.
The minister.
He's a bright mind.
Former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to meetings where I've heard him speak.
And he knows a lot of foreign hands. Yeah. He knows a lot of people. He knows a lot of people in the private sector.
University. So, I expected him to be a square peg in a square.
But the power sector is not easy. Even strong men like Bolaige could not truly unbundle the power sector. And Bolaige was a cerebral mind.
Yeah, I agree.
That means there are politics and corruption and principalities and powers in the high places that are playing games in that place. And Aiyedatiwa needs to put his feet on the ground.
I think he needs to do less of politics and more work. When you do work, your work will announce you to politics.
Definitely.
Yes. Look at what the interior minister is doing, even though today is not for that discussion. I think so far you can give him a pass mark for the job. For the job
until the next 4 years.
Yes, but as I said, so far you can look at him and experience performance. Yeah. Very quickly move to the last topic for the day. At the Ondo crisis, it looks like that has been settled. Remember, I was saying earlier that the president has been meeting with stakeholders in Rivers State. He equally met with stakeholders in Ondo State, and he had to meet with them again after the chaos and controversy did not seem to be settling anytime soon. Now, finally, Mr. Lucky Orimison Aiyedatiwa is acting governor after the House of Assembly met, and that was after the governor, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, officially sent in word that he was going on medical vacation. Remember how long that dragged and dragged and dragged. I think I should start from Femi Morgan this time. Just like in the case of Rivers State, did we have to go through the presidency before landing at a solution? Why was the right thing not done before? I mean, they could easily have not taken us through the 400 years in the wilderness before, of course that's in quotes now, before leading to, these are adults with white beards. There's even no reason for us to be in this situation.
The stakes are high.
Let's sit down, let's talk about it. Okay, you do this, you do that. Of course, remember that the other time when the governor left, he handed over to his deputy. He came back, and then that was when the drama began.
Yeah.
And then he handed yesterday before yesterday.
The stakes are. Let me use a hip hop code: money, power, respect. Money. Ondo State is also an oil producing state, and there's so much money going in and out, derivation and everything. And there are accusations that certain funds are used to take care of the governor's health. There are certain accusations that the deputy governor or the acting governor now wants to perpetuate himself a la 2023 elections.
24.
So all of those accusations signal the minds, the thoughts of the political class and the political players within that system. Accusations of forgery, of
flying around.
So those signals were very, very.
Commissioners doing for and against.
So
signed.
Money, power. We've talked about power. The whole 2023 elections, how it will unfold. If this man stays in power,
what's
the plan? Is he? Are we going to be able to put him out? Will he use that to win the primaries and all of that? He can. He's the governor. He can remove the state chairman now. He's the governor.
As acting governor, is in charge.
He's the father of the party.
Very quickly, Mohammed. Ondo, the crisis is over. But how did we even have to go through these waters in the first place?
Yeah, the thing is that this thing is very straightforward. Like you have said, I don't know if there is any sweet. I think there is sweet, of course, in power. You understand?
Yeah.
I think we have to. Our politicians, they do not have the interest of people at heart. You understand?
You keep saying this.
You understand? Look at it. I am a leader of a place, and I'm not feeling too well. And the responsibility I have been saddled with, as the governor, is to ensure that the people enjoy the dividend of governance by providing common amenities, giving them, a safe environment for economic growth and a host of others, other important things. You understand? But I could not carry on with that because of my health. You understand?
Yeah.
And the thing I will do as someone who is ready to serve the people is to vacate my seat for the time being until I am well. You understand? You understand? That is it. But on the other hand, when we look at the people who are in the court of the governor, like power knows nobody. People are usually, they have the urge to assume the power position. You understand? I think all of the machinations against the governor because of his state of health is for them to usurp power from him, by discarding him. You understand? He understands. He knows the people he is with. You understand? That is why he has been adamant that he's not going to vacate the seat, irrespective of his health challenge. You understand? So look at it. Okay, when he went to Germany for treatment, you understand? There have been issues of forgery.
I think that was when he got back.
When he got back.
That's when he got back.
When he got back, there have been plans that some people really want to, take that seat. They want to take the seat from him. None of those. You understand? So You know, I think we have to start. The people now, I'm talking about the generality of the people, the Ondo people and Nigerian people. You understand? We have to be very serious with the kind of people we elect into the office. You understand? We should ensure that these people are people who are ready to serve us, and these people should be people who, you know, who are ready to, you know, to support us even in times of crisis. But you can see that these people are just for themselves.
Right.
Let me add.
Very quickly, Femi.
Let me add that media pressure is good. Media pressure is good, and we must not ignore the validity of media pressure. Whether we like it or not, His Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, succumbed to the many voices of reason across the media landscape. You cannot be a SAN, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and behave like someone who does not have a grasp of the law, of the functionality of the law, and what the law demands of you. Respectfully, the man succumbed
to the wishes of the
people
and the wishes of the media. Thank you very much for being a part of this production today. Whenever I have these guys in the studio, it looks like we should never end. Unfortunately, every good thing, even bad things that has a beginning, definitely has a time to end. A very big thank you to my producer, Olalekan Olabode. Sulaiman Adeni have been pressing the right buttons. Olalekan Adetunji have been setting up the cameras and moving around to check that everything is functioning optimally. On behalf of Mohamed Lawa and Femi Morgan, my name is Shegun Ondo, and I say have yourselves a fantastic day. The weekend starts tomorrow. Don't be weekend by the weekend. Stay out of trouble. This is December. Have fun gently, have fun quietly, have fun sensibly. God bless you.